I have no idea what that even says. A spoolie brush. Don't come straight up through or you'll end up with it up here. Just brush up. But stop once you get through the hairs. See that? I'm stopping. I'm just brushing up. What that's doing is destroying that line and then come down like this. Now this one went way too long. I'm just going to use my finger to kind of stop it and then also kind of blend out to make it a point again. Whoopsie. And then brush backwards. Brush. If I'm going this way, go that way. If I'm this way, go that way. Watch. And what that does is it really lifts some of that color out. See how it just kind of softened this one? Look how overly pronounced that is. Now some people like that. I'm not knocking it if you like a very pronounced look, like you like a sharp edge look on your makeup. I mean, some people put an edge, like a piece of tape or tab right here just so they can have a sharp line. I still would say diffuse it, but you can go through it and then straight down and give yourself back the tail. Now I'm going to go the opposite direction, back that way. And some people are like, oh my gosh, Beth, it's going to look so weird. I promise you it won't. It will calm itself back down. Your eyebrows, all your little expressions you do will calm that right back down. So, there. I forgot to do the liner under my other. Look how I only got one done. What is up with me? I know what it is. I'm fixing to go to my daddy's. And I just have so much to think about when I go there to take him food. You know, because he eats TV dinners. That's just what you tend to do when you get older, unless somebody brings you food. And so I take him chicken casserole or... there's nothing wrong with TV dinners when you're older. People say, well, it's not healthy. It's like, you're old. Eat what you want. Unless it's going to give you an immediate response. Like my dad made himself some salads. And he had a salad and... he had tomato and Thousand Island dressing, and he's got diverticulitis. Well, there's it's kind of up in the air right now whether or not salad and seeds really does, after all, cause problems with diverticulitis or diverticulosis and turn it into diverticulitis. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's when their roughage pushes through the intestinal wall and bows it out and makes a little pocket. And seeds get in there and it can turn it in from just being the condition diverticulosis, where you have all these pockets, to where seeds or food debris gets in them and you get infected and it's diverticulitis and you have to have antibiotics and sometimes surgery. So for years my dad has not had salad and tomatoes, and he just told me the other day he did, and I think he forgot he can't have them. And I was like, Dad, you can't. Was the salad good, Dad? He's almost 93. If he wants to eat salad, he's got all kinds of digestive problems. It hasn't helped any to do what he has been doing, just because, you know, I mean, you get old, y'all. And sometimes nothing you do is going to help the condition. You're just old. And we're not 20 anymore. And at some point you have to accept that. And you can still try to do all the healthy things that you can. That doesn't mean ignore being healthy at all. It just means don't think you're going to be in perfect condition. A lot of people, when they're young, have issues. They're not in perfect condition when they're young. We're in a fallen state. We once had perfect bodies. And we decided, instead of listening to God, to listen to his enemy, who wanted to be God, Satan. And Satan means the adversary. And that's why God renamed him from Lucifer to Satan when he fell. And he didn't just fall. God made him fall. Because his heart had already fallen. He'd already decided he wanted to be like God and then to be God. He wasn't trying to be like God to point people to God, but to point people to himself. And it was his pride. Pride is a bad thing. In every way. Pride is a bad thing. We are supposed to be humble of heart. We are not supposed to be proud. And we use the word loosely, so you know, sometimes I'll say be proud of, you know, your hard work or all that kind of stuff, but not boastfully prideful about, you know, I am this or I am that. That is exactly the words of Satan. And he tried to trick Eve, and it worked, because she listened to another voice. Don't listen to another voice than God. Well, and you say, well, how do I know the voice? It's the Word of God. Learn the Word of God. Word of God, Old and New Testament, that is his word. Matter of fact, when Jesus was referring to doing that, Jesus did it, and he told us to do it. there was no New Testament yet, so it was the Old Testament. Learning the scriptures helps us know God's voice. And so when you know God's voice so well, you'll recognize a counterfeit, an imitator. Or ask the Holy Spirit, just please, Lord, make sure I recognize the imitator and I stay true to you and you alone. And God will answer that prayer because He wants you to. He wants you to be faithful. He wants you to be obedient. And so people say, how do you know if He's going to help you? He will help you. He wants you to do that. So He's going to answer that prayer with a big old yes. All right, let's put some lips on because I can't stand doing these videos without lips. I have to tell you, just looking at this makeup, it looks thick, but it's good coverage. And one of the things that finishing mists do is they soften that thickness. I have to even that out. Is that even? My bestie told me the other day. She told me, she said, do you do your makeup every day? Even when you're not going anywhere? And we got to talking about something else. I never answered her question. The answer is mostly every day because I'm going to see my husband. That's who I'm trying to impress. That's who I've always been trying to impress. Plus, I never know when I'll be going out for something. And I just feel need to have a makeup on. There we go. Lips are done. I love this stuff. This Chanel, y'all, is the best lipstick. And what is my color? Some of you are saying it out loud right now. You're going, soft rose. That's right. I need some blush. That's just what did I just pick up. Oh, this is old. This is from the Lorac. This is, I think, the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. Dead Men Tell No Tales contour palette. And I'm going to use Caribbean, which is right there. It's the rosiest because I'm the rosiest. Stay above that dark inset. Stay above it and it will highlight and make it look deeper. And roll it out when you get down there. If you have a chipmunk face like me. If you don't need to do that. But I have chipmunk cheeks. Meaning these right here have always been here. That's not dropped from age. When I was 3 years old, I had these little chipmunk, little chipmunk cheeks. So you see how I'm stayed above this, and then round it out right here, right in front, the apple of the cheek, right there, and then go up in the hairline, especially at the temple, and then over. And I always put some on the bridge of the nose and under the nose. Now what does that do? That means the end is white. You got a bridge color there, which kind of looks like you have sun, and it makes your nose look smaller. And the end is white, which is almost like putting on highlight. And then you make this darker, a little bit under there, and that gives you shadow, so it gives you nose job. Lots less money than surgery and lots less trouble. Now I'm doing the same thing underneath my chin right here, and that just gives a shadow and blend it out real good. Same thing with your nose. Like I always have to go back and check that because I've seen videos before where I go back and look at it and it's like, Beth, you put on a black dot under your nose. Not black, but so much contour under there, it was so obvious it looked terrible. And I had to go back because I didn't blend it good. These lights are so bright it's kind of hard to tell. You know, you need good light, but you don't need bright lights like this because it's not a true picture of what it's going to look like. And I'm going to put just a little bit on the ball of my chin for the same exact reason. I have a very full chin and the jowls right there because they're dropping, but be sure and blend that out when you do that. Okay. Now there are other highlighters on here if you wanted to. I never really do, but we will today just for the fun of it. Let's choose Star Reader's more gold, Fortune's more, I think I'll do a little of both. So you do it on the end of your nose, your Cupid's bow, top of your chin. The C, for older ladies, do not go where the crow's feet are right there. Go out 1 inch. Then make your C. Do right between your brows a little bit. Right out here. Maybe a little bit right on the top of your nose right there. Let it drag down. And all that does is elongate the nose a little bit. So, no kidding, if I hadn't done this in 5 minutes being outside in the South, it would look like this anyway because we sweat like crazy in the South. Yes. Okay, so now I need to do some liner. I've already blended out. So I'm going to do some liner. Coming in kind of high there on purpose. There we go. Again, I'm halfway up on the actual hood, because otherwise if you go down here, like raise it up and go down there, when you drop the hood like that, look how it just drops the skin, so you can't do that. You have to start a little higher. Right about there. There we go. Skipping a good bit. The reason it skips is because your skin is not taut, and so when you drag the pen across it, that's why I really like a brush pen better than a felt tip pen.